Demario Davis is really deteriorating. I know the team really
deteriorating.
He's old as hell.
It's an amazing verb for a human being to be described.
He's withering. He's withering away.
From a like a paper and water, just falling apart.
It's the IDP show, now you know.
Welcome to the IDP show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined in the Sode Shack tonight. On my right, Adam Markham. On my left, Bobby Reynolds. Gentlemen, how are we this evening?
Great evening, Josh. Always good to be joined by you fellas. Love you guys.
All right, getting off to a real good start, Bobo. All downhill from here, I think.
I love the quick, awkward comments.
It's like, how weird can we get right off the jump?
Sure.
Just leading off with, I love you, boys.
Sure.
You boys are good guys.
Good golden hearts, as we know. Is that me? I think I have a bad heart.
Yeah, you can't say that about yourself.
That's true. Bad heart. Bad heart.
Yeah.
Well, we know you all have good hearts out there watching this, listening to this, and we appreciate y'all tuning in. We are excited to be back talking about free agency fallout. We are going to be looking at the players who did not switch teams, but were affected by those who did. So, gentlemen, free agency is pretty much over at this point. I mean, we had Jadeveon Clowney signing a 2-year deal with the Carolina Panthers, but
That's fun.
that's a nice little deal. I agree with Mike Wohlert on the after show saying, as the team goes, Clowney tends to go as well. So how's he going to do on a Carolina team that may be picking first again next year? We'll see.
That's true, and it's a 2-year contract.
Exactly. That's what worries me too. He can't cash in again next offseason.
Yeah, but 2025.
Yeah.
Look out.
Look out, baby. If Clowney hasn't been cut at that point and looking to get paid again,
Yeah.
we'll be in business.
But, yeah, he should get a ton of volume. So, I mean, yeah, he was great last year. Pressure rate was good, all that stuff. So, good opportunity. So.
Is he immediately their best pass rusher? Is
Oh,
there someone
yeah,
there I'm not
immediately.
thinking of?
DJ Wanham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's recovering
from the quad injury, which is a pretty serious injury. So that's a bad team.
Not good.
I'm just thinking they've let pretty much all their best players. Usually you want to keep your best players, right? And they've let their 4 best players, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, all get out the door.
Jeremy Chin.
You know? Yeah, Jeremy Chin now gone.
Derek Brown's still there. He's
Derek
got to be
Brown's still
close
there.
to needing a contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be getting a big deal here soon, you would think. Maybe. I mean,
Do you think
We'll
the
see.
Titans are going to be good this year?
nah, I think they'll be 6-7
I
wins.
feel like they've had some signings that have been like, what are y'all doing? Like,
I mean, Calvin Ridley.
Tony Pollard was kind of strange to me.
It all depends on Levi's.
Yeah, well, can Levi's sling it? We'll see. I think Levi's is actually pretty good. I think he could be like right around league average.
Dalton line.
Yeah, right around the Dalton line.
Yeah.
And if that's what you got, that's pretty good.
They feel like a 500 team
Yeah.
next year.
New coaching
They'll
staff.
be frisky.
You agree,
Vrabel had them punching way above their weight.
do you agree with the kind of the turmoil that's building in Dallas with Dak not getting a new deal?
Yeah, that team is hamstrung by the fact that Jerry Jones is like a day late and a dollar short on every single contract negotiation, coaching move. Like, they just seem a year behind everything. That's why they had to pay Dak all this money.
Yeah.
You know, should you have kept McCarthy? I don't know. It just seems like they're headed for potentially a massive rebuild starting next year.
Trey Lance season.
Trey Lance season might be. And that's what I saw. Sean Payton, is he going to play it cool and then go throw a massive bag at Dak Prescott next offseason if he hits free agency? So, yeah, Dallas is always just
Weird.
It is always a drama down there. It's a soap opera.
God, they owe so much people money. Did they pay Micah?
Not
No,
yet.
It's coming up.
Micah, CD.
He's going to get about
Dak.
$35 million a
Yeah,
year, maybe.
probably.
Gosh, what could those 3 guys make?
Oh, gosh. I mean, you're looking at probably $50 million for Dak, probably 35 to 40 for CD. Whatever JJ gets, just go up from there. And then, yeah, Micah's probably going to get 35.
Burns just got 5 years, 150. So what's Micah going to get? 5 years,
geez.
175.
Probably.
5 years, 200. Could that happen?
Yeah,
Phew,
absolutely. So
That's
it's
insane.
you got good players, but you got to pay them.
Yeah, you're going to have 3 of them having a pretty big
You're going to
hit
have
on
3
your
of them
cap.
making about $100 million against the cap.
Yeah, making almost half your cap.
Yep, easy. Probably more than that, depending on what
Yeah.
Micah and CD get.
Wow.
So, yes.
And, yeah, Dak hasn't shown he can really win in the postseason.
Nope.
So
But
I
it's
don't-
like,
I don't want to pay him $50 million.
I kind of don't.
where are you going to go? Are you
Yeah,
going to
it's
do
tough.
better?
It's-
You know?
But at that price, it's like,
Because you're not going to be at the top of the draft. You're going to have to trade up, and it's not a good QB class next year.
I think I just try and figure out the quarterback. I mean, it's not Dak. And $50 million Dak is not an asset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but if it's Trey Lance or recycled QB on the QB carousel next offseason, it's like, I don't know.
That's the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody wants to be quarterback of Dallas Cowboys.
That's like being a Yankee shortstop.
Wait a minute. Hold on. How old is Archie?
Not yet 20, I don't think. Maybe 21.
Did he play? He played in Texas last year.
He was a backup to Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn's coming back, so I think Archie transferred.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he's sticking around. I know he's not in the new NCAA college football game.
Okay.
He said he's focusing on the field.
They'll probably play Dak or pay Dak.
I think so.
I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the Dallas Cowboys. They love overpaying their own guys. That's kind of their Ask
And
Johnny
it's
the
just
Greek.
It's just a juicy storyline in the offseason.
That's right.
Just staying from.
Trying to get Dak motivated.
Yeah.
Just that great picture of Jerry kind of leaned back in his chair with his little notepad.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just a bunch of
Scribbles.
it was like someone trying to get their pen to work type of scribbles.
It's like me in an all-day training.
Yeah, just like a bunch of doodles, just totally zoned out.
Yep.
Well, let's talk free agency fallout, boys. We have a list of essentially winners and losers, folks whose situation got worse because of what happened in free agency, and people whose situations got better. And we're going to start positive, and we're going to start with some edge rushers, and you boys tell me who you want to kick things off with. But 3 winners at edge rusher. Let's start with Will Anderson, Houston Texans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Yaya Diaby, and Will McDonald, New York Jets, are winners. Now, a little bit of rationale here for each of these guys. So Will Anderson gains Danielle Hunter opposite him. So who are, offensive lines going to double team here? You can't double team them both. Yaya Diaby, Shaq Barrett out the door. There goes 650 snaps. And then Will McDonald, Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff, gone off the New York Jets defensive line. So could we see a big-time bump for Will McDonald, who played less than 200 snaps in 2023. So, gentlemen, who do you all want to start with here as a winner in the free agency fallout at the edge position?
Let's talk about Will Anderson. I mean, why would we not? My thing is going to be with Will Anderson. I do love Jonathan Grenard. Don't get me wrong. I've been on the Grenard train here for a couple years now. I think we're pretty quickly going to find out that Danielle Hunter plays a little differently than Jonathan Grenard. Danielle Hunter is an elite edge, has been for many years now, and I think that could be really, really, really good for Will Anderson. 23 points per game for Will Anderson, 11.5, 10 TFL, 7 sacks. I mean, going into 2024 alongside of Danielle Hunter, what are we looking at for Will Anderson? Probably a 12-sack season. I don't feel like that's out of the realm of possibility for Will Anderson. The TFLs are fine. I feel like you're going to probably see some more tackles from him this year. I don't know. I would see a DL finish of like top 6. I feel like I maybe y'all completely disagree, and maybe I don't know where. I think you're always pretty high on the Danielle Hunter train.
Oh yeah.
I just think that Hunter is a pretty substantial increase in talent from Grenard.
Oh yeah. I think as good as Grenard played, I mean, Danielle Hunter is 1 or 2 tiers up from that.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting right now to see Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter going back-to-back in ADP, and Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau also going back-to-back in ADP. So I think the market is very keen on Will Anderson year 2 and Danielle Hunter in Houston. So, but there's no denying that Will Anderson, second year as a pro, that kind of full off season that we always talk about, it takes a lot of guys 2, 3, even 4 years to fully kind of grow into this edge rusher defensive line role in the NFL. Will Anderson showed flashes enough to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So what will he look like in his second season, and especially now that you have Danielle Hunter opposite? So I'm with you. Will Anderson, big winner. Eddie, why don't you talk to me about Will McDonald, another Will, because this is a guy that I think you are very high on and will probably have a lot of exposure to in the best balls once this offseason's over.
Yes, definitely drafted him a lot in last year's rookie drafts. You get him like in the 4th round. And these best balls, he's going like these IDP only best balls, he's going like in the 10th, 11th round. Do you have the ADP?
Yeah, he's DL 62 right now. I will actually pull up what round he's in.
It's really, really nice.
That's very nice.
But yeah, I mean, Bryce Huff, He's gone now. Carl Lawson was released. So wide open opportunity there for Will McDonald. It should be him, Jermaine Johnson, and then John Franklin Myers will be in that mix as well. They'll likely bring someone else in, I would imagine. There was some rumors of Clowney going there, so thank God that didn't happen.
Is there anyone left on the free agent market that could potentially come in and threaten for snaps?
Kyle Van Noy,
I could
some
see that.
players like that, but no one that I don't think is going to threaten Will McDonald too much for playing time. So I feel good about Will McDonald year 2. I think that, as things stand right now, he has a good shot at maybe getting 600, 700 snaps.
Yep.
And that could equal, maybe 10 sacks for Will McDonald. I think he is a pretty special pass rusher. And I think we're going to see a nice little year 2 from him.
I agree. Yeah, he is ADP 117 right now. So, yeah, right around, what is that? 12 times 12 is 144. So that's like a 10th round? Yeah, like a 10th round pick.
Yeah.
Back of the 9th, beginning of the 10th round for Will McDonald.
Yep.
So
he gets dual designation on there as well.
that's very
so that's nice.
Yes. And we have that in the ADP as well, folks. You can see if people are dual designation for sleeper. So, and then, Yaya Diaby. The difference here with Yaya, the reason I'm not as excited, even though the market is more excited about him than even Will McDonald, who is, again, setting as DL62, Yaya Diaby, DL56. The difference here is just draft capital, right? I mean, these two guys we've talked about, Will Anderson and Will McDonald, both first-round picks. I think Yaya was a 3rd-round pick in last year's draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
So doesn't have the draft capital, but did get the opportunity. So we don't have to really project what this guy, can he handle a snap volume above 600, approaching 700. He played 650 snaps last year, over 650. And with Shaq Barrett gone, there's more opportunity than ever. It's just him, Joe, Tryon, Shoyinka. So I think Diaby's going to get some run.
Yeah, I like Diaby. He averaged 12.1 points per game last year, weeks 10 through 18. So, I mean, that
came on strong.
Well,
he replaced Joe, Tryon, Shoyinka.
Right, Joe Tryon was
went to the bench.
Yeah, like playing like 30% of the snaps per game, So, I like Yaya quite a bit too.
A lot of you don't have to project opportunity for Yaya and for Will Anderson. We do with Will McDonald, but I think John Franklin Myers will get plenty of run.
Yeah.
But I don't really see them bringing in anyone that's going to stop them from giving Will McDonald snaps.
Yep.
If he's earned those snaps. And I think he's going to earn those snaps. I really do. So
Will McDonald's also he came out of college a little bit older, so I mean he should be ready to
go. Yeah, and we saw Jermaine Johnson start slow his first year, big time breakout last year. So I think I would expect the same. We've seen the blueprint in New York. So
Juice should be back in the building with A-Raj coming back.
Yeah.
So I mean
not going to be the vice president now for RFK. So that's good.
It's a shame.
Yeah, what a shame.
Would have been good TV.
Yeah, it would have been very good TV or very bad TV, depending on how you like your TV. Let's talk about linebacker winners, though. Let's start in Baltimore. Trenton Simpson, Baltimore Ravens. Speaking of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Servassier Dennis, Isaiah McDuffie, Green Bay Packers, Deion Henley, Los Angeles Chargers. Now, rationale for these guys, of course, Trenton Simpson, Patrick Queen, gone over to Pittsburgh to be their LB1. Over 1,100 snaps vacated with Patrick Queen gone. Is it going to be Malik Harrison, I believe, is the other linebacker they brought back?
Yes,
right?
a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and then you have Trenton Simpson there. So who's going to get that opportunity? Servassier Dennis, same kind of question now. Devin White, gone. Just shy of 900 snaps in 14 games. KJ Britt still in town. There's a lot of KJ Britt fans out there, but it's either going to be, as of right now, Servassier Dennis or KJ Britt taking over for Devin White. Isaiah McDuffie, we saw Devondre Campbell out the door, and McDuffie was the go-to replacement, the one-for-one replacement for Devondre Campbell. So, assuming they don't add anyone, Isaiah McDuffie is walking into a nice situation. Same thing with Deion Henley, except both guys are gone. Eric Kendricks, gone. Kenneth Murray, gone. And so now it is Deion Henley and
Perryman. They brought back
Denzel Perryman. So how that split kind of shakes out, we'll see. But we know that Denzel Perryman has struggled with health at times. So I think all of these guys, at least as it stands right now, and hell, even if they add a rookie linebacker, that doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
We've been talking for months now about how we've got to pump the brakes on expectations for rookie linebackers. So I think especially when you look at the ADP for these guys, Henley, LB 54, Isaiah McDuffie, LB 71, Servassier Dennis, LB 63, Trenton Simpson, LB 27. He's the one that's going to cost you the most.
Yeah, I will say with Henley though, if it is one of these top 3 linebackers, that ain't good. You know, if it's Peyton Wilson, if it's if it's Junior Colson from Michigan, that's really not good.
Yeah, great tackler.
Because also Nick Neiman was ahead of Dayon Henley last year as well.
And it's a new coaching staff.
And Henley is a little eccentric. If you've ever listened to him talk, I don't know that Harbaugh is going to be the biggest fan. I mean, I hope it goes well for him, but he's a little different,
A little out there.
just a little immature. I don't know.
Okay.
Not like me, not mature like me.
Oh, very mature.
Sure.
So
Are you a mature guy or a mature guy?
it's mature.
Mature.
I mean, I don't think I couldn't seriously say immature or mature.
Mature. It just reminds me of manure. So,
Right.
Though maybe if that was your jam, Bobby,
That could maybe something I start doing.
maybe you could. You sound more sophisticated. Bobby, you've always, I felt like, had a soft spot for Henley.
Yeah,
I think you took him in the rookie redraft we did with John Macri. Is that right?
I did.
So, what is your gut feel right now? Perryman, Dayon Henley. What's that split look like in Los Angeles?
I'm worried. I'm worried if you're the Henley manager that it's not going to be as rosy of a season as us in fantasy would like for it to be. I think that, everything lines up for it to be great for Henley. But now, we talk about this oftentimes where you've had a player there for a couple years and all of a sudden a new regime comes in. Well, it's the same situation. It's just that Henley was drafted by
The previous regime, Brandon
exactly.
Staley.
Brandon Staley, and now you have a new. I was trying to think about earlier, what type of linebacker did Harbaugh have when he was with San Fran? He had a really good linebacker then, right?
I can't remember if that was still the Patrick Willis, Navarro
Yes,
Bowman
yeah, it
days.
was.
Okay, so just potentially 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. I think honestly, this sounds ridiculous, but there might be a little bit of play with Junior Colson ending up in.
He's going to take one of
Los
his
Angeles.
Michigan
Oh,
guys,
absolutely.
right? At least one.
Absolutely.
You know what this feels exactly like?
What?
Osmoa. Brian
Oh,
Osmoa.
yeah.
It's exactly the same situation.
Yep.
New defensive coordinator comes in,
And
then he's
And a stinky vet is there that we think, oh, yeah, Jordan Hicks. Nah, I'm not worried
an
about Jordan
undrafted guy
Hicks.
comes in.
Yep.
And
You're
how-
still talking yourself, into Osmoa.
how many of these athletic freaks that come in ever really pan out anyways?
I mean, making the transition from wide receiver,
Yep,
right?
Yep. And,
So-
it's not like he
Yeah.
was a great tackler.
That can be an asset because you can cover those
Sure.
quicker guys, but you're also not. You haven't learned and played linebacker your whole life.
Henley's not really big. He doesn't have a ton of draft capital. I don't know, man. I'm just worried that this might be a nice little sell window for Henley. I don't want to act like his NFL career is already over before it started. I'm just worried that he could be a little bit of a trap.
If you can cash out, cash out.
I think so. If you could get a third, right?
Absolutely.
Cash out.
I think you just go ahead and just
Yep.
get
Yeah.
rid of him because
Reroll.
he cost a
Yep.
fourth.
Yep.
It's just good process.
I think what you do is
especially a third now is going to push a lot of IDPs
Yeah.
down because of all this offense.
I think what you do is you go and trade Henley for a guy like McDuffie plus. I really
Yeah.
like Isaiah McDuffie going into
Me
this,
Can you go
this
pick up,
season.
one of these kind of yucky vets?
Yep. But-
and add a pick, add a little sweetener in there.
I know that Macri or somebody smarter could tell me how much Green Bay actually rolled out 2 linebackers, but I feel like they're a really heavy 2 LB set. They're really similar to San Fran. Last year it was a lot of Quay Walker and a lot of Devondre Campbell when they were both healthy. Now I know that the health has been a concern for both of them, and Quay's had some suspensions and stuff. Suspensions maybe. Is that right?
Yeah, because he had he bumped into the
That's right.
Crybaby Quay.
crybaby Quay
But-
in the tunnel.
McDuffie, though, when he plays a full assortment of snaps, is really, really good.
Hell yeah.
Last year, week 5, he played 95% of the snaps. He had 10 tackles. Week 10, he played 89% of the snaps, had 10 tackles. Week 12, he played 85% of the snaps, had 11 tackles. Even back to week 7, played 66% of the snaps, had 10 tackles. Has not done a ton in the big play department, but you're looking at 86 tackles on a really minimum amount of playing time. If you're looking at a nice little honestly, I get a little bit of Ernest Jones vibes from Isaiah McDuffie. You don't get a lot of really like. I don't think Ernest Jones is ever going to be like Roquan, but the way that McDuffie plays and his production, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for McDuffie to put up like 150, 160 tackle season.
Here's what I know. I was thinking, wait, Green Bay has a new defensive coordinator. How do I know that? Because Mike Woolert just published his NFC defensive coordinator article over at the IDPshow.com. It is Joe Woods is out. Jeff Hafley, who was Boston College's head coach for the last 4 seasons, is in. And this is what Mike had to say. He expects that he'll run a mix of zone and press coverage with a preference for man, probably run a base 4-3. And even though the NFL is primarily a 4-2-5 kind of defensive base, they could run 4-3 30% of the time, which means 3 LBs.
Wow.
And,
nice.
he said that Hafley didn't say whether Quay Walker would continue to man the middle, and their LB2 is Isaiah McDuffie. So I think he's a little bit down on Walker, and McDuffie could be a very nice value because, I mean, look where he's going in drafts. LB 71.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. 75 tackles on 513 snaps last season. That was a 14.6% tackle rate. That was 19th best among all linebackers.
It's pretty good. He's a good player.
Very good. Yeah, solid, and a really good tackler. So, we love that in IDP.
I also want to say real quick before we move on, I don't feel like we're talking about Trenton Simpson enough. I know he didn't play a whole lot last year, but the amount of vacated snaps that are gone and the athleticism that is Trenton Simpson and kind of the way that he can honestly maybe even look like Patrick Queen has never left. And yet here we are, he's LB 27 is too high. I will admit that.
It is, because the Malik Harrison thing is real.
I disagree.
The Ravens love that guy. That's one of those you want to pay attention to in training camp. I'm hoping it's Trenton Simpson.
Yeah.
But
Another Asamoah situation.
I know, man. It just worries me because
New
these
DC coordinator.
stinky vets have stuck how many knives in our backs throughout the various number of seasons that we've done this show. It feels like we're always really excited for the unproven kind of second-year guy or rookie, and then here comes old stinky vet to mess things up.
There's truth to that. I don't know. I guess with Trenton Simpson, LB 27 in best ball is way too high.
That's the problem.
But in Dynasty,
too rich.
If you can grab Trenton Simpson and kind of let him sit, he's the one that I'm kind of interested to see. Like, I think if you were to put like Trenton Simpson and Deion Henley beside each other and say, like, look, you got to pick one that you think's going to work, I think it's Trenton Simpson.
I think I would bet on Simpson too.
I agree.
So,
but yet all those linebackers from last year, none of them really got draft capital outside of Jack Campbell, right? All those guys were 3rd-round picks.
And we're still even scared of Jack Campbell.
And how many of these guys have that vet just kind of enter the picture?
Yeah.
We could have just kept things simple, Baltimore, and just given Trenton Simpson the keys, but instead, here's Malik Harrison. Same thing with like a Deion Henley. Oh, let's bring back Denzel Perryman.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I think we talked about this on one of the episodes, that like your linebackers are just your running backs. And I mean, like, running backs right now in the NFL, what are their, like, I was listening to a J.J. Zacharyson pod the other day, and he was talking about, like, what are their, like, 6 to 8 RB1s? You know,
Boy,
how many
it gets ugly pretty quick after, like, JT.
How many LB1s are there right now? Probably very similar.
Right.
And then, like,
that you
after
feel
that,
really good about.
Yeah, I mean, after about 10 or so, it's like, who really knows what this role looks like for them? And I think the NFL is kind of treating them like that to some extent, to where they don't want to draft these guys high, but they just want to kind of grab them in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round and just see if any of them work out, Some of them are going to pan out, and
it really is interesting. You're right. I mean, I'm just looking at the LBs right now, and it's like the top 3 I feel really good about. Roquan Smith, Foyce Aluakan, and Fred Warner.
Yeah.
That feels great. All day. Thank you very much.
Proven.
That's kind of like Bijan, Brees
CMC.
Hall, and Jahmyr Gibbs,
Sure,
right? That's
sure.
your sexy top 3. Then we get into Nick Bolton, who I know you are not a fan of for this season. Then you get into Bobby Okereke, who I think is one of the best sells in all of IDP right now.
Yeah.
Because there's really not a lot of room for that dude to go up.
Yeah.
Played 100% of snaps, y'all. Like, that just does not tend to stick. And then the sixth guy is probably the one I'm most interested in, which would be Ernest Jones. But then you look down past
But he's
that.
also risky. And
I know,
Yeah.
I know. T.J. Edwards and
Risky.
then Zaire Franklin, a little less risky
Still better
now,
now.
that he got the extension.
but beyond 3 years.
Well,
Or
and
Quay Walker, LB9.
And points per game for Zaire, you got to be a little worried about what EJ Speed did to Zaire's production once he played. I mean, that was a real thing. Zaire's production went down when
Wow.
EJ Speed was there more
These top
regularly.
linebackers, man. Patrick Queen, LB10.
Yeah.
Quincy Williams, LB11. Frankie Louvu, LB12 now with Bobby Wagner in the building. Terrell Bernard, LB13. Logan Wilson, LB14. So it's like the top three and then like just a big fat middle of guys with a lot of question marks. So, yeah, I'd rather just take the value.
Yeah, exactly. Top three. There's a clear top three, and then like it's LB4 to LB40.
Pretty
whatever,
much, yeah.
you know?
I mean, you could make a case for all of those guys to be like,
I don't want to spend up on those
No.
linebackers 4
just
through 12.
let them
right?
fall.
Yeah.
Take the defensive line value and scoop up late linebacker.
Do you think in best ball you could go heavy DL early and then go to DB?
No.
That
No.
model doesn't work at all.
it
like
doesn't-
if you were to just go crazy
Because
DB,
people love linebackers. By the
Dude,
time you'd be linebacker
linebacker's so
shopping,
bad at the
yeah,
end.
it
It's
really
terrible.
is.
It's
It really
awful.
is.
you're probably right. You do have to sprinkle some in.
I
It's
think
bad.
I think you could alternate DB LB, but if you fade LB, you're screwed.
You got to hammer.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
got to
right.
hammer linebacker in those rounds,
Those-
like 5 through
Yes.
9 or 10. You got to hammer linebacker right there. Like it's your Jordan Hicks, your
Josie Jules,
Josie Jules,
Yep,
right? your,
Singletons.
Aziz Al-Shaair. He's actually probably going to be outside. He's going to be too high. But 5th round is usually like Levante David, Bobby Wagner going over. in
Yeah,
that
you're
range.
right. You're right.
Yeah, let's see where Aziz. We got 7 drafts in here now, so we've got a couple, I think, post free agency drafts in here now. Aziz Al-Shaair up to LB21. He is sitting at the end of the 5th. He's the 60th by ADP. Let's see where Wagner is. I'm curious. So he's LB15, sitting at 4 overall by ADP. So
Y'all worried at all about that with Wagner?
No, not really. I
LB
mean,
what? 15?
LB15, that feels about
that feels
right.
fair.
Yeah, that feels about right. It's Terrell Bernard, Logan Wilson, Bobby Wagner, Alex Singleton, JOK, Levante David. That's kind of your sort of stretch right there.
If Drake May can dish, the Commanders could be pretty good this year.
So those are good linebackers.
I know.
And that's it. So that's why I like starting around like round 4, round 5 with the linebackers.
Yeah, so
I'll
yeah.
try and get like maybe if I have a shot at one of those 3 in the 2nd round or late first, the Freds, the Foyers.
and you can get
I got Roquan 209.
That's
in one
crazy.
of these best balls.
they just go DL straight.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone's getting fired though.
Have y'all,
Somebody's getting fired.
have y'all heard the new Aaron Donald kind of thing? That there was a way that LA went about doing the what am I trying to say? The restructuring
his contract.
before he retired, to where there's a bunch of money still left out on the table, to where all of a sudden if June, July come around and Aaron's like, hey, you know what?
Maybe he just wants to skip training camp.
That
And
he can be like,
The
hey,
first time this has happened.
yeah.
Tom
Tom
Brady?
Brady?
Anyone? Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So like, there's a little bit of chatter about that.
Brett
that
Favre?
like Donald.
I mean, well, yeah, like take some, have yourself the summer to really, really think about it, and you may
You may get to like
Get
June
closer
or
to
July and
season,
be
like,
like,
damn.
dude, and
this retirement is for the birds.
Stafford,
Yeah.
and
I'm ready to
Cup,
go kill someone.
Sean McVay
Yeah.
are gonna be texting you, being like, "Dude, look, you've
Come on.
had your time with your
We had a
family.
great draft.
Exactly.
We're looking good.
We're not
we can,
asking
we
you
can
to
win
play
the
for
NFC.
10 more years.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Stafford's got he's gonna be like, look, Stafford's got 3 years. Can you give me 2?
we re-signed Hoik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and I even think the Rams have money to like maybe
Gets
even
worse every episode.
give Donald another contract. You know,
if he wants it,
make
yeah.
him the highest paid defensive
Feel like
tackle if that's what you want.
AD, is it money?
Yeah.
Is it just money? Is that all? Like if we give you,
I really can't believe he's retired.
it
10
doesn't
years,
feel
man.
real. It really doesn't. It crept up on us.
Yeah.
10 years,
A weird
and he's
day.
going out playing well. It's not. It's like JJ Watt.
hate
You know,
when
JJ
players
Watt.
do that,
I know.
though.
Come
Come
on,
on, guys.
Let us squeeze every
Hey,
last drop of juice out
I
of you.
might be buying a little AD here.
You're gonna start draft. I mean, if you can get him in the 30th
Adam's
round,
already overweight on
Hey.
AD.
my first 4 best balls this year all
Yeah.
have AD.
Yeah.
I was
Hey,
Real
auto is auto pick in the 3rd
ship's
round.
not sunk yet.
I'm still hopeful.
Ship's not sunk
That
yet.
ship's broken in
Hey,
half.
you
They
stop
gotta like Superman weld it back together.
Stop it.
Let's move to DB winners and talk about the Seattle Seahawks, Julian Love, Denver Broncos, PJ Locke, Kirby Joseph, Detroit Lions, and Jason Pinnock of the New York Giants. Rationale for these guys: Julian Love, you have both Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams out the door. Julian Love is the guy there, along with who else did they bring in alongside Julian Love?
Rashawn Jenkins.
Yep.
There you go. Rashawn Jenkins alongside Julian Love. So who gets the box roll? We'll see. PJ Locke in Denver. Kareem Jackson, of course, was let go. Justin Simmons let go as well. Locke and Brandon Jones, who was added in free agency, are going to be the safety tandem, it appears. Kirby Joseph, you have C.D. Deuce out the door. Brian Branch, primarily a nickel corner. Tracy Walker was cut this February. And then you have Afetu, Melifonwu there as well. But, Kirby Joseph, the room has cleared out a little bit with both C.D. Deuce and Tracy Walker gone. And then Jason Pinnock, of course, Xavier McKinney over to Green Bay now. So, I mean, who is really the safety of note in New York right now? There's not a lot to like there. So where do you want to start with this one, Bobo?
I'll go to Pinnock.
Okay.
Just because I think that this is going to be one of those stinky but startable. I don't think Pinnock is a great player, but just like you said, there's nobody there. Xavier McKinney is now a Green Bay Packer. Jabril Peppers is playing for
New England Patriots.
The New England Patriots. That's right. So now it's like Jason Pinnock, Dane Belton. I don't know who else.
That's it,
I think it's just those two guys. So I mean,
some scrubs.
maybe they draft somebody. That would be interesting to kind of keep up with. But DB 22 finish, 12.1 points per game. Drafting it right now as the DB 78. You could do way worse than Pinnock at DB 78. I think he has the possibility to maybe even improve on his 2023 finish, because now two of the main guys that he was playing alongside of last year are completely gone, and that PT is going to increase. He may not be the best player, but at DB 78, gosh, absolutely, yes, please. Even in Dynasty, like, I'm okay rolling a guy like this out. They're still DBs. They're still replaceable, regardless of, what type of redraft, best ball, Dynasty, whatever. Pinnock's a guy that I don't mind rolling out for a year or two.
Yeah, they brought in Jalen Mills.
Yeah.
Doesn't really scare you, though.
Nah.
It's Jalen Mills, Jason Pinnock, and Dane Belton there in New York. So not very scary. Addy, who do you want to call out from the DB group?
PJ Locke was pretty good to finish last season. And yeah, I mean, I think he can do a lot of different things. He can play the box. He can play in the slot. He's a really versatile player. So yeah, I think that he could be he's a fine value. What's his ADP right now? Do you have that?
So
it's
he's
DB
45.
DB 45. I was going to look up and see where Brandon Jones was going, because when you have these ambiguous situations, I'd rather just take the later guy, and that's Brandon Jones right now, DB 66.
Now, that's probably not going to be how it goes,
You
because
think Jones is going to bump up?
well, yeah, because I don't know that we have a lot of we don't have but just two of the drafts in from
2 drafts post free agency, I think.
PJ Locke got the deal done early in the offseason, so that was reflected in the
He got a nice
in the
little
ADP.
bump.
But yeah, I think Brandon Jones is going to be like a top 30 safety.
I was going to say top 36 probably, no problem.
Top 30 DB, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think he easily gets 100 tackles, and then he's got the big play upside. He's proven to be a guy that can get some sacks and TFLs. So
Yeah, and Julian Love going as DB 14. That's a little rich.
Yeah.
Another example of a time when I will just take the later guy,
Exactly.
who is Rashawn Jenkins, going as DB 40, safety 30 right now.
yeah,
So
I don't have any Julian Love.
Julian Love kind of lost some playing time last year, didn't he?
he was just in that weird situation with
Jamal Adams.
Jamal
Quandre
Adams,
Diggs.
Quandre Diggs. Yeah. It was a 3 safety thing that was just kind of hard to figure out. If they had cut Jamal Adams loose, I think we would be feeling much better about Julian Love playing alongside Quandre Diggs
They
last
could
year.
easily
but-
bring in a safety
Yep.
in the draft, and it's a decently solid safety class. I mean, there's
no studs,
Yeah.
but
but there's a lot of
some solid
There's
players.
some guys that I like.
Fat
for sure.
middle.
Yeah,
I think it seems like Seattle's probably going to spend some early draft capital on linebacker as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see them with Mike McDonald being there, wanting to get some young linebackers they can groom behind these 2 veterans.
Do y'all think Kirby Joseph is a good player?
not really.
Yeah.
I'm not really that interested in him.
But I mean, this will be his 3rd, 4th year.
It's-
So
Yeah.
Doesn't really light up my Christmas tree.
He's just a tackle guy. I mean,
11.3 points per game, DB 38 finish, going as DB 60.
But he's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do worse.
Yeah, he's cheap.
I was going to say, DB 60, where is Melifonwu going? I feel like
He's gonna be.
He's gonna be up there now.
Yeah.
People like him. He's like a top
he's
15.
DB 18.
Wow.
Safety 16.
It's that finish
That
of the
is-
year, man.
That is rich, though, bro.
Yep.
That's a little rich.
What did he put up? Let's look this up.
Yeah, he had like a 30-point game and a 40-point game, I think, over the final.
He was a championship winner for a
Yeah.
lot of teams.
24 years old, 6'3", 210.
He was honestly the real winner of all this.
Yeah.
He was the biggest winner. At
Yeah,
safety.
seeing CD Deuce leave
Yep.
was huge for
Tracy
Melifonwu.
Walker
And
cut.
then he had, I mean, Kirby Joseph. We don't feel that great about him as like a player. I
Yeah.
think Melifonwu's the better player.
Week 15, 97% of the snaps. He had
I was gonna
8
say
tackles.
97 points. I was like, oh my gosh.
8 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. Week 16, 98% of the snaps, 5 tackles, 2 sacks,
What was the point outputs here?
1 interception. So he had 23 points, 28 points. I'm not sure that this is my big 3 league, but either way, the production was stupid down the finish. He had 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 INTs over a 3 game span.
He's a playmaker. We'll see what kind of opportunity.
Oh my
how it
gosh!
shakes
And
out
he had
there.
2 sacks in the playoffs.
Telling you, he was nuts. I think Addie's probably got the log.
Was he also doing punt and kick return stuff too?
I don't think so.
But he took one to the house, like a pick or something.
pick six,
I think.
maybe?
Yeah. So
Got it,
yeah,
Eddie.
he had a 34-point game in week 15 and a 43-point game in week 16.
Wow, that's crazy.
So-
That's your what? Semifinals, week 16,
Yeah.
week 17
And
championship.
then 17, he put up
I love how he has to squint at it.
16 and 19 the following week in week 18. So
There
I
you
mean,
go.
he was a stud.
Absolutely, he was
the last 4 weeks.
DB1, like far and away DB1 through your fantasy playoffs. I would
Yeah,
say.
man. Yep. I remember we had an episode, right? Didn't we do like a playoff MVP or something
We
segment?
did IDP MVP.
I know we did that, but I feel like we are always recapping like the final, because
Yeah.
in these logs we always, the final last 3 weeks.
Pay
or
attention to the
how
last.
do they do in the playoffs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And NFL playoffs too. So
But yeah, all of our subs are very much in on Melifonwu.
they
this
really
year.
are. You can tell. That's
They're
a
in the
sharp-
ranks.
sharp
They're in
group.
the ranks. They're the best. I have no doubt that they are the best in IDP, folks.
So where do you have Melifonwu right now in your best ball ranks? I'd be
He's up
curious. Is he going above ADP, or is his ADP above rank right now, or kind of right around where you've got him? It's always funny to me just to see how much this follows just your ranks, just like right down the pecking order.
He's safety 7 for me. I don't have it broken down by DBs though. I need to do that.
So yeah, he's safety 16 right now. So he's actually going. He's a nice little value compared to your ranks. It sounds like
Are you talking about the BB ranks or the Dynasty ranks?
BB ranks.
So right now, Dynasty ranks, Adam has him as the safety 8, right behind Xavier McKinney and right ahead of Cam Curl.
There you go.
I really like him in Dynasty.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel pretty good about him.
So there you go, folks. The room is cleared out.
And
Curtis Joseph could be a winner. Melifonwu is definitely a winner.
And also, you got to remember, it's like safety. Like, there's not a lot of guys that have a ton of upside. Melifonwu showed us that he seems like he
Absolutely
might
does.
have.
Yeah.
Might be one of these big playmaking types. So that's going to boost him up. But again, the safety's like we're not gonna freak out or do anything irrational.
We're not going to send for DBs.
No,
Not
no.
going to do it.
But we acknowledge good asset.
Yeah. Respect,
Solid asset.
Yeah. Respect the game.
But
Still safety.
still safety.
Are you
Still know your role.
Are you going to be having some Melifonwu based on where he's going, which is around 180 overall? It's just a big old run of safeties right here. Like the
I'll get him.
linebackers are
Yeah.
like Nate Landman, Cole Holcomb,
The thing with
Kaliki Hudson.
There's so many DBs, man. There's just so
Listen
many.
to this run. Buda Baker, Cam Curl, Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, Efetu Melifonwu, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jordan Battle, Jalen Petre, Nate Hobbs, Trent McDuffie. That is a big fat
They're
run.
all really,
of
really
good
good.
DBs.
And then there's 50 other ones that,
Yes.
that are really good right behind those guys. So DB is just so damn deep. You can overdraft if you want, but you really don't have to.
No.
You really don't have to. And also, it's so deep that there will be guys that slip through. It's just the way it works. Like there will be guys that slip through.
I'm kind of sitting here looking at Jalen Petre, who was, I think, safety 2 by ADP, behind Derwin last year.
Yep.
and now sitting as safety 19. So the
Still
market,
no thanks though.
yes, the market has definitely corrected on Petre.
There's also some interesting like risk involved with Melifonwu. Like he might not keep up that crazy pace.
Oh, he won't.
Like,
but
can he put up 40? Yes,
But he's the type of best ball safety you want because if you can get a game winner out of a DB,
yeah,
that is beautiful.
I might be even trying to acquire Fetty a little bit in some Dino leagues. That feels like a nice little safe asset.
Well, why not just take a swing at your safety position?
Yeah.
At least one of them if you start multiple safeties.
Sure.
So let's talk about some losers, though, boys. Unless you had something.
I did pull up my my exposures from these
please.
best ball drafts.
What tool did you use to get your exposures?
This was dynasty-daddy.com.
Okay,
Awesome.
Dynasty-Daddy.
Awesome website. Awesome a bunch of dynasty tools for your sleeper league.
Very
I think they
cool.
have
Shout
NFL connects too. So yeah, check them out for sure. That is dynasty-daddy.com. Some of the guys that I've been drafting a lot though. Trevon Moehrig, I've got him 71% of these drafts. DJ Turner, 57% of these drafts. Jalen Ramsey, I'm getting him in all these.
Explain.
Xavier,
I think
Xavier Howard's gone.
He's gone. Also, Deshaun Elliott's gone. I just think that they're gonna use Jalen Ramsey more in like the slot role, like he was used as in Los Angeles. And the DC has even come out and said that he's labeled him a chess piece. Says you want to move that guy around, let him do a lot of different things. So I think that would be fantastic for Jalen Ramsey. If you look at, I forgot how damn good he was when he was with the Rams. He was a stud
In that star role.
Like his finish wise, it was like 250 points on the season in 2022, and then like it was 240 the year before that. So I mean, it was a great role for him. Also, remember last year he was recovering from the torn meniscus. So I don't think he wasn't right last year, and I don't think he got along well with Fangio. Yeah. Like there was locker room interviews where he just didn't seem, I don't know, enthused with Fangio, and then Fangio leaves. So I just feel like maybe they didn't have the best relationship. Ramsey is a tough guy to probably get along with.
He's a little bit of a kind of wide receiver diva type.
Yeah.
I will say Mike wrote up here in the Miami Dolphins section of the AFC defensive coordinator changes article that Anthony Weaver, the new DC with Vic Fangio, out the door. Mike wrote that I think one of the big beneficiaries of Weaver's coaching change will be Jalen Ramsey. He might be allowed to shadow more and to also be able to move around as opposed to staying stationary on one side.
Let's go.
So echoing the same idea there, Eddie.
So yeah, and those first three guys, Moehrig, DJ Turner, Jalen Ramsey, all those guys just really good values. I'm sure all of them are really good as far as ADP goes. And then some other guys I've been targeting, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I get him in quite a few of these. Honey Badger, I get him in a lot of these.
He's always there late when I'm shopping in the DB aisle in the late rounds.
Julius Brents out of Indianapolis. Yes. He's a guy that he was good when he played last year, but he's a good tackler. He could play I know Kenny Moore's there, but he could probably get some slot snaps as well.
He'll be our other starting cornerback.
Deontay Banks is a guy who gets super late. He was, I think, their first round pick there for the Giants last season. Denzel Ward, I get him super late.
A lot of these cornerbacks.
Yeah, right. Because no one knows corners.
Yeah. But also just pick corners that are going to play close to 100% of snaps.
And
they're safe.
Ball.
They're safe.
Because how many times did you say DBs were popping into your flex spots?
Almost, yeah.
Because
they're almost at the end of the year, like it's all DBs.
Yeah, because you just need a cornerback to have an interception or a few passes defended or, and
there's three starters on defense. So I mean, there's going to be the player pool's just a lot more. So there's
more guys getting snaps.
There's a lot more just solid players at the position. So there's no reason to like we've mentioned forever on this show. You don't got to simp for these DBs. I'm getting
don't simp.
Cam Taylor-Britt late. I'm getting Jordan Whitehead late. I'm getting Byron Murphy late. Quan Martin, Joey Porter Jr. Jaquan McMillan.
All your top targets are just going to be your fade targets.
Yeah.
Like your exposure, your portfolio is just going to be rife with late DB targets.
Yeah, that's all it is.
He completely pulled the wool over eyes. I'm an early DB guy now.
It was that one draft. And you
had to zig.
It was that one draft. That draft was
brutal.
Stupid. It was dumb. It was the first draft of the year. Everyone was in the ranks. It was dumb. So, yeah, I got Witherspoon in the 11th round. That's not happened in any of these drafts since.
He said, and I quote, "I've got to keep Daniel Keltown on his toes."
That's right.
Old Daniel Jones,
That's right.
Caltown.
Can't let him get completion.
I'm in between him and Kyle B right now in BB8, and it is brutal.
I'm not far behind you either.
I'm not having a good time at all.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a very tough draft. Well, speaking of tough, let's talk about some losers from the free agency fallout. Bobo,
Yeah.
entire Rams defense aren't put here. Aaron Donald out the
Yeah.
door. I mean, that's going to have an effect. How much is it affecting your view of the Rams IDPs?
I think first off, Aaron needs to pack his things because I think you're probably done here. Secondly,
Yeah,
don't
adios,
ever talk
brother.
about the Rams like that again. You hear me? Do you understand me? I don't know. I'm not worried.
not worried at all.
We got Ernest Jones. We got Byron Young. We got Kobe Turner.
Got Cameron Curl.
We got Cam Curl. Hey, and we got Sean McVay.
I do like the pieces y'all have. It's just like you rip out the beating heart of the defense.
I mean, yeah,
I'm a little worried.
So I watched some ball the other day with a buddy of mine, Jordan Ball, shout out. We were watching some college ball, and I said, man, it's going to be weird to watch a Rams game and not see Aaron Donald playing. Just being like, man, we need a Donald sack here, you know? That was kind of the thing that you would like. That was just
Those young guys got to step up now,
get
man.
a big play on third down, and it was just like, that's the Aaron Donald effect. Like, all of a sudden, that he won a lot of games for the Rams.
Did you? I'm sure you saw the picture of him, like the screenshot of
yeah.
4 offensive linemen blocking him at one time.
I think Nate Tice basically said, like, he tweeted out, like, how I'll remember Aaron Donald or something like that. And there's 4 pictures of him just getting mauled by, like, a double team, 3 guys,
Triple team,
4 guys,
quadruple
around him.
team. Yep.
And yeah, I mean, to some extent, yes, I feel like this is going to affect Kobe Turner and Byron Young and Ernest Jones even. But, you know,
They got to step up.
Les Snead is good at drafting, and Sean McVay knows value. And, you know, Puka Nacua happened last year, and I trust the Rams, man. They're going to pull some value out of this draft.
You notice who we didn't mention?
Who's that?
Michael.
Michael Hoyt. Is Hoyt still sitting out there?
They brought him back.
Did they?
Yeah.
I must have missed this.
And also, low-key good value.
Don't. If he was Michael Williams, you would not be as into.
He's
him.
gonna
Been
play.
solid.
He's
He
gonna
had
play.
70. You know, he had 77 tackles last
He
year.
did. He was like surprisingly
And I think
good.
he had like 5 sacks. Like we can play with that.
He's not great in coverage.
play with that.
But he's
Well,
good around the line of
he's-
scrimmage.
Yeah,
That's all right.
That's what he does.
But Aaron, seriously though, this is probably your last time.
Yeah, need to see you gone.
And that you led off the losers with that?
I think he just categorized it because it was a whole
No,
team.
no.
And not a position.
Don't care for that.
Let's move to edge rusher. Sorry, Aaron. And talk about a couple guys here who were negatively affected by the additions. Josh Sweat and
For now,
Azeez
Josh Sweat.
Ojulari. Yeah, that's the thing is, do we think either Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat gets moved
Well,
and
they're
opens up some opportunity?
if you listen to Twitter feels like Hassan Reddick is the one who's more available right now. Didn't they just restructure Sweat's contract?
yes, I thought that's what I thought.
So I don't know if that was like a Lockett deal where it was like, dude, you got to do something.
That
like
could
you-
also make him more tradable.
Yeah, you hadn't been playing that well.
It's interesting that Josh Sweat finished as DL35 last year, going as DL35.
Yeah,
it's
he's-
always fascinating.
That's
to
a
me.
very Josh Sweat thing to do, honestly. You're not going to get any more upside than that, and you're not going to really get any worse than that.
So let's just say that Hassan Reddick does get moved, and you've got Josh Sweat and Bryce Huff. That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
But I think as it stands right now,
Agree.
it's a crowded room because you also have Nolan Smith.
What's the
And Brandon Graham.
Yep.
what's the Nolan Smith take right now? Do y'all know anything about, like, is he just progressing slow? Because there was a lot of
Just
drumbeat.
crowded, bro.
I think that's just, they like having a lot of those guys. I don't-
That's what Howie Roseman does. He builds along the offensive and defensive lines, and he'll just stack it. He'll just
it's
keep
like last
taking
year.
those guys.
Last year we didn't want them to draft I'm blanking on his name.
Jalen Carter?
Yes, we didn't want because Milton Williams. We're like, well,
Oh,
they have
yeah.
no need.
Yeah.
Why would
Jordan
they
Davis.
do that?
Yeah.
Why'd they do that? Right? It's not a need.
That's true.
He don't care. He
just
wants to stack.
want it
strength
deep.
on
Strength on strength. Yeah.
Wasn't it Nolan Smith that was getting the training camp vibe last year to where everybody was like, oh, God, like, this could be crazy.
He had some moments.
I think he'll be all right.
He'll be fine. It just
I
you
think
have
he
to
could
be
be a nice
very
buy right
patient.
now.
Yeah.
He could be a year 3, year 4 type of guy as these older guys clear out.
I'm not so sure that you couldn't maybe see both of these edge rushers gone. I think
If
you
there's
could see
some
Reddick or
training
Sweat.
camp injuries,
Yeah.
man, I think they would be fine if it was Bryce Huff and Nolan Smith.
I can tell you though, I've tried to maybe kind of move Josh Sweat in a couple leagues. He has zero value right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just don't.
Zero value.
Yeah.
Not really into Sweat.
Would you buy him for a fourth?
Sure.
Oh, for a fourth, yeah.
But also, it's like, do you really want Josh Sweat like in a league where it's just defensive end? Like you start two defensive ends, like our RSL
no.
league.
Two? No.
He's worthless, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just in that no
And
man's
those,
land.
and that's what's also I feel a lot of leagues are set up like that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of leagues are two defensive ends.
You know what I'd rather have? I'd rather have Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Let me roll out Van Ginkel instead of Josh Sweat in a situation like that. And Josh Sweat might get more PT, but Van Ginkel's going to score more freaking points. I don't know. Josh Sweat is very frustrating to roster in these leagues. He's a little bit like Josh Allen, to where it's like some weeks he does some stuff, but some weeks he gets you like one tackle. I don't know. Sweat's frustrating.
Yeah.
Very aggravating.
Yeah, Aziz Ojulari, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just...
He's just in that range where it's like it's easy to
That's
swap
tough.
him out,
Yep.
like and then he has one of those weeks
On
where he
your bench.
blows up on your bench. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's weird because he's DL 35. I can look up what like edge he is for ADP, but DL 35, that's right there on that line of like a DL 3 for you or a DL 4.
Yeah.
Which is a very different flavor for me, a DL 3 versus a DL 4.
I'm good with him in best ball, but
Let's see what he's going as like edge
lineup
rusher.
leagues,
Pull up the
I'm
log.
just not
Edge 29. So
in best ball.
in best ball, yeah. Montez is going as edge 15. The other sweaty bro going as edge 29.
It's good.
Which sweaty bro would you rather have at cost?
Montez.
But man, Montez, you gotta spend a second, third round pick on Montez now.
Yeah, he's ADP 19. So that's the 7th pick of the second round.
I haven't been in a spot to where I'm like, I want to take Montez Sweat yet.
Basically, Josh Sweat is the end of the 5th round.
Dude, listen to this.
that also feels kind of rich,
That's
though.
a little rich too. Yeah.
Listen to
I'd rather
Josh-
have Van Ginkel.
Josh Sweat is turning into Matt Judon. The first half of the season through 9 games, he had 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. The last 8 games, 0 sacks. 0.
Yeah, that sounds like a. We just should call that.
The man had 100% of his production
pulling a
before
Judon.
week 10.
Pulling a Judon.
Pulling
That's
a Judon.
It's a Judon chop right
It's
there.
a Judon chop. There you go. We found it, folks. We found it.
The Judon chop.
And then here's the thing about Van Ginkel. Yes, going as edge 38. Babo, if you could drop your phone one more time, we'll
My
get the
apologies. My
trifecta.
apologies.
I'm gonna be getting that up though.
Yeah, so you'll be single-handedly moving Van Ginkel up the ranks. He's at DL 53, edge 38, 96th overall. So what is that? 8th round? End of the 8th round.
We'll be getting him up into the 6th.
Also, he's dual Desi, whereas Josh Sweat is not.
Yeah, he's an
So
edge.
I would much rather have Van Ginkel.
And Van Ginkel really good at tackling. Like he's
Okay.
safe week to week.
But listen to the other side of this. So Montez Sweat had sacks in 9 games last year, and he had 5 games of at least more than 1 sack per game. Montez was great last year.
He was good.
Montez was really, really good.
Yeah, and he's going in that area where I probably like him the best of the options that are there. It's like Nick Bolton, Hassan Reddick, Trey Hendrickson, Okereke, Montez, Judon, Ernest Jones, Big Q,
See, I think
Aaron Donald.
I think I'd go Okereke or Ernest though.
Think so?
I think so.
Depends on how you start your draft.
Get one of those linebackers and then do the thing where you chill out for a little bit. You know.
Has Chicago added an edge rusher?
No.
No, I feel like they're gonna add someone in the draft.
Who added?
They're probably going to take a Jared Verse or Dallas Turner at 9.
Last pod, you said somebody got added somewhere up there in the NFC North, and you were like, "Please don't let this be the help that,
That was
we
Marcus
needed."
Davenport for Aiden Hutchinson.
There we
in
go.
Detroit.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Hopefully that's not all we get.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Montez needs some help too, though.
Linebacker losers, Channing Tindall. Just rest in peace forever and always. Amen. He gone. Nakobe Dean, Philadelphia Eagles. Cole Holcomb, Pittsburgh Steelers. Henry To'o and Christian Harris. And then Leo Chenal and Damone Clark and Jamin Davis. A lot of linebacker. Pete Warner. A lot of linebacker losers on this list. So let's go through the rationale for some of these guys. Channing Tindall, Jordan Brooks now there. Anthony Walker's there as well. They also still have David Long. I think Duke Riley is still there. So Channing Tindall's like LB 14 at this point for this team. So if you had any hope left, it was just a fool's hope for Channing Tindall. Nakobe Dean, they added both Oren Burks and Devin White. So where does that leave Nakobe Dean? Very ambiguous situation for a guy that can't stay healthy. Cole Holcomb, Pittsburgh Steelers. They added Patrick Queen, and I think he is now, the 6th highest off-ball linebacker contract in the league per average annual value.
I saw where it is like they can get out of it though.
Yeah,
Quickly.
that's
like next year though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but still, that's
Yeah. Good for
relative to like the linebacker market. Patrick Queen was this year's, I guess.
Tremaine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not nearly as much guap, but the highest paid guy, which is
Yeah, I
kind of
didn't
what
get
we
the link
figured.
for the contract.
How much did Bobby O get last year?
It was a value. It was like
was-
3 years, 40, something like 30.
Tremaine was like 70 mil.
Yeah, it was like
72?
5 years, 72, I think.
Yeah. So
What was TJ Edwards?
It was like 3 years, 20.
Oh, wow.
he was significantly less.
Huh.
So Henry To'o and Christian Harris, just because you bring in Aziz Al-Shair. So which one of these guys is going to be the one sitting on the bench? Probably To'o.
Yeah.
Christian Harris, probably the LB2 there behind Aziz. Leo Chenal with Drew Tranquil coming back kind of saps the
It's a shame, man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man bus climber. Is
Come on, Drew.
It's a shame for
probably,
both of them.
Yeah, it really hurts both
Shame
of
for
them.
the whole unit.
Drew
The
doesn't
whole
know.
squad.
Bolton as well.
Drew
Everyone's
doesn't
gonna.
know how we could have fell in love with his IDP value if he had gone to the Tennessee Titans.
These people won't stop drafting Bolton as a top 6 linebacker.
I would have loved to have seen Drew Tranquil go back to the Chargers.
Oh hell,
That would have been a
Would've
reunion
huge.
that I felt much better about than Denzel Perryman going back. Damone Clark, Dallas Cowboys, they bring in Eric Kendricks. You have DeMarvion Overshone coming back from injury. So Jamin Davis,
And
totally
Eric
dead.
Kendricks.
I mean, totally dead at this point. Jamin Davis with Luvu and Wagner there. New coaching staff. I think he's on the outs. Pete Warner, you mentioned old Stinky Pete. Is got Willie Gay breathing down his neck now. So yeah, where do you guys want to start as far as linebacker losers?
Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete,
I think he stinks.
think he's not good.
I don't think he's very good. They were cutting his snaps as the season wound down last year. And then I mean, he just doesn't produce for us in IDP, that's the name of the game, you know. And the PFF grades aren't that great, 57.5 this past year. I'm pretty sure those have declined every single year.
Yeah, you read that last episode. I think it has gone down. Finished as LB 56, 8.4
Yuck.
points per game. Going as LB 46. What are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of DeMario and Willie Gays in these best balls.
I really like Willie Gay for this year.
I do too, man.
I really like Willie Gay. I think this is an opportunity for not only it's kind of a contract year for him. He didn't really get a whole lot of money,
Yeah, 1 year 3 or something like
but
that.
I think it's going to be a nice little showcase to where if he can prove to a team that he could maybe be a nice little LB 1.5. You know, I don't know that he's going to ever be like an LB 1 for a team, but production wise, I feel like what's his ADP?
Who, Willie Gay or
Yeah,
Pete?
Willie Gay.
I'll have to look up Gay. Pete is sitting at LB 46 right now.
That's disgusting.
It's way too high.
So Willie Gay is LB 53. Slurp.
I mean, it's fine. I think he's linebacker too. There, I'm good with it.
I will
So
say
that's basically like end of the 12th round for Willie Gay.
what I will say,
142 overall.
and you probably don't like this, but DeMario Davis is really deteriorating. I know the team really.
Deteriorating.
He's old as hell. I
It's
mean,
an amazing verb for a human being to
I
be
just
described
mean
he's
as.
withering. He's withering away.
From a
like a paper and water, just falling apart.
like that Old Spice commercial.
from a linebacking perspective, DeMario Davis does not have.
the way you describe your grandparents when like the Alzheimer's is kicking in.
That's how
They're
I feel
really
like,
deteriorating.
that's how I feel like his play has been. It has not been that good. And I know you think he's a value, and he is to some extent. He's going to still play, but I think Willie Gay is just going to have an opportunity to be the best linebacker for the Saints at the end of the season.
Tomorrow Davis, LB 43 right now.
That's a damn good value. He
That's
averaged-
leading the room though.
What he averaged
He
last
averaged
year?
14. Who cares? It's 43. That's telling. No one knows what to do with that rim.
So yeah, I mean LB 43 for Davis, LB 46 for Pete Warner.
I can get
Why?
DeMario Davis in my LB4. Dude averaged 14 points per game last season. They brought him back. He was top 5 PFF.
But Adam, he's turning into sand. He's just slipping between our fingers.
he's fine. It's Stinky Pete and Willie Gay in the room with him.
There is truth to that. I guess I'm maybe thinking a little bit of dynasty mind here when I'm talking about Willie Gay. Best ball wise, yes, DeMario Davis is still fine, but I just think that there's still higher heights for Willie Gay. I don't know.
I'm excited about those are the two linebackers I want.
Yeah.
I think Willie Gay's like a really good juice guy too. I think he's going to do really well there in New Orleans.
Why are people drafting Pete Warner in the 40s?
They're still believing, man. They're still holding
Do
on.
you even want him in the 80s?
In the 80s, yeah, sure. Because at that point, the LBs are
I don't know.
very gross.
Yeah. you're looking at like KJ Britts and Gervasio Dennis's at that point. But I mean, maybe you want those guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like the snap percentage last year for Warner was like, okay, we know what we need to know now.
It
like,
was getting down. Like they were not keeping him on the field for more than like 60% of the snaps. Like as the season was ended.
Yeah, the LB 80 range is Jack Gibbons, Owen Popo, Mac Wilson, Christian Roseboom, Chad
Okay.
Muma,
Sure.
Sione Takitaki. Yeah, so it's
Chad Muma's another name.
Pete Warner needs to be bumped
Chad
down a little
Muma?
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind him if you take like Lloyd or
Yeah.
Foye, just nice little handcuff.
What about Nakobe Dean here? Should we talk about Nakobe?
That talk about another. This is just a lot of very ambiguous rooms.
Yeah.
New Orleans and Philadelphia, I feel the very same way about, which is I don't know.
I don't
know that I want to wade into those waters.
I feel pretty confident it's going to be Aziz and Christian Harris.
I do too.
I feel confident in that.
Christian Harris was so good to finish
Yes, he
last
was.
year. I just feel like they can't.
He was one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
He was awesome, dude.
Awesome to finish the season.
I mean, he was a big reason why they won that opening round.
Yes, he
against
was
Cleveland.
a stud.
Nakobe Dean, though, I mean,
I'm sick of him.
yeah.
So he had the question marks coming in, right? The health question marks.
Yep.
And he has not done anything to clear that up for
Yep.
us.
You
He's played what? How many games? Has he played over 6 games?
Has he played 10 games total in his career?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
30 tackles last year, 2 TFL, and a half sack.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it works out for him.
Look at what the team is telling us. They brought in 2 linebackers.
We
Now,
also have a draft ahead of us too.
exactly. And you could absolutely see them add a
He was just a
linebacker.
3rd round pick. People act like this is a guy who was drafted in the 1st round.
They
don't
also-
have high capital invested in him.
You're right. They did bring in 2 linebackers. And before that, they brought in Zach Cunningham and Shaq Leonard.
Yep.
Some crusty linebackers.
They played him and Nicholas
Yes.
Morrow too, and they played him.
Nick Morrow.
So they didn't say, you know what, we've got Nakobe. Let's just bring in someone.
Yeah.
No, they brought in Devin White
Anybody they can find.
and Oren Burks.
Yeah.
So it's like
They know this.
They know.
They cannot rely on this dude.
exactly. I think that's more of it is like not that this guy is not good.
Yeah.
We just can't rely on this guy staying healthy.
Yeah, right.
So I think he is a loser in this as well. Let's talk about some DB losers though to wrap things up, boys.
And his ADP is still high, right? I mean, that's really why he's a loser, is because he's not a discount. He's not a value.
Yeah, he is going as LB32 right now.
Good God.
Whoa, baby.
Very, very expensive. So, which here's a good one. I was looking around the LB60 range to see if that was a good area for Pete Warner to settle. Would you rather have Cole Holcomb or Pete Warner?
Neither.
Neither. Thank you. No good.
No, and I'm not. I literally will not draft either one of them.
I'm just saying if you had to pick between the two, they're in the 60s.
Wow, Carolina's about to lose.
I will not do it.
You don't have to do it. You
Don't do
have
it.
to do it.
Don't do
You
it.
don't have to do it.
Don't do it. Let's talk about DBs though.
That's the thing. It's like a guy can become a value, but you also don't have to pick that guy. He could just be a total landmine.
There's a reason those guys get down into the 60s.
Or
they may just
landman.
not be good.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's a
right
pretty
there.
good one
That's
there.
pretty good.
Not
A lot
as
of
good
beautiful
as
lines
Judon
tonight.
Chop, but
Judah
Good.
Chop.
A lot of
damn
good stuff
good.
tonight.
Jordan
the
Battle,
Judon
the
Chop.
first DB loser. We talked a little bit about this with Von Bell coming back. Muddies the waters there. Roger McCreary was looking pretty good until they went and gave L'Jarius Sneed like $100 billion in the Kansas City trade. So, I think Jordan Battle. Is it
Yeah.
possible Von Bell is just veteran insurance? Yeah, sure. But
We can list. I think all the. I think we can also list Dak Hill, just because we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't like these
makes
situations
me
where
nervous.
Right. We just don't like these situations where there's risk,
And
especially at
always-
this point in the season, right?
Let's see how this is shaking out. How do you guys think the ADP is right now? I'd probably say Dax Hill above Battle and then Von Bell.
No.
Yeah. No. It's
Battles
gonna be,
me first.
It'll be Hill first, I think,
Dax Hill is safety 10,
and then
DB 12.
it'll be Battle. But this is all going to change.
Battle is DB 20, safety 18,
wow.
pretty close. So I think I have Von Bell queued up. He is safety 47, DB 73. I think I would just rather take that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because Von Bell's a veteran. They brought him back.
And also, I don't feel like people are going to be excited about Von. I feel like that's going to stay the same.
No, people want to be excited about Dax Hill, Jordan Battle, Battle Hill, and now you got Bell. So you got Bell on the Battle Hill.
But you got Geno Stone there too.
Shoot, I forgot about Geno
and they
Stone.
gave him-
Where's he
they
going?
gave him 2 years, $15 million. So I
Geno
mean,
Stone is safety 56, DB 91. There's your answer, folks.
yeah,
It is Geno
Geno
Stone is the right answer.
He is the answer. I think
Yeah.
he is going to be one of the starters. He's going to get He's going to get 100%
What
snaps.
if they roll out Von Bell and Geno Stone?
That could
And
be
just-
a real
and
thing.
Dax
You
Hill
know
and
the other
Jordan Battle
problem?
are just gone.
They also have Cam Taylor-Britt and Mike Hilton.
And Mike Hilton's really good in the slot. So
There's-
That's a
Taylor Britt-
really good defensive backfield.
There's only
And DJ Turner, my boy.
Damn.
there's only so many tackles to actually go around in that backfield.
And you got two good linebackers in front of them, Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson. This defense is actually
Pretty good defense,
Pretty good
yeah.
defense. I think they've improved.
Yeah.
Who was it not too long ago absolutely hating on Sam Hubbard? Maybe it was Greg
It was
Rosenthal.
John. Well, John was talking about how he thought Hubbard wasn't long for that starting role.
Yeah.
How he thought it was going to be Miles Murphy sooner rather
he's
than later.
in the bed with Miles Murphy quite a bit, Joe. I'll
Sure.
say that.
He's heavily invested.
Sure.
Why? Because he has him in our main league or
We
something?
got him in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
He was pumping him up a lot last year.
I did take Miles Murphy in one of these. He is dual desi, so that's nice. And then, Roger McCreary, we wanted to show a little bit of love to the cornerback position as well.
He was awesome last year.
How much?
Tackle machine.
It was okay. So I thought it wasn't just L'Jarius Sneed, as Aaron has here in the notes. $100 million overhaul, bringing in L'Jarius Sneed and Chidobe Awuzie.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So Roger McCreary, where does that leave him?
Yeah, who knows?
Odd man looking in, probably.
That's the thing. Is just who knows how it shakes out because there's still like Christian Fulton. Is Fulton still there?
I'll look it up, but
Not sure. But
Roger
there's a lot
McCreary
of guys.
is DB 19 right now,
right, and
so
and
that'll drop.
and notice there's who knows what role L'Jarius Sneed plays. Right.
Fulton's with the Chargers.
Okay, so he just switched squads. But who knows what role these guys play? Right?
Yeah, does
L'Jarius-
Sneed play outside corner? Does he play slot?
Right, because L'Jarius played outside corner last year, but before McDuffie got there, he was exclusively pretty much a slot guy.
Yeah.
Played a lot of box. So just we'll see what we'll see what that role looks like in Tennessee. Just risk, we don't know. I'm not going to draft someone as DB 19.
Yeah.
DB 19.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know. No, and also that people.
That'll change.
Yeah, right. People that they didn't have the news of L'Jarius Sneed being there. So
I think it's a
or
bigger
Awuzie.
I think it's a bigger issue that there's just a lot of good guys there. You got a lot of good corners, not just good safeties there in Cincinnati. From one week to the next, you're not really going to know who might be good or, have the pop off week.
Okay, so that was Jordan Battle's ADP. Roger McCreary is going as CB 17, DB 51.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's where is Sneed?
But still,
though?
now it's like
Sneed is DB 26, CB 5, going at 191 overall. So I'm just really curious what kind of role he gets, though.
yeah, I haven't drafted any Sneed.
Which is sad because you love L'Jarius Sneed.
I do love L'Jarius, but I was out on him last year too because of that.
McDuffie.
We didn't know what the
McDuffie
role was
thing.
going to be, right?
Or as the transcription services always calls him, Luxurious Sneed, which I think is kind of appropriate, really.
That's a good nickname.
I like that. Chidobe Awuzie, DB 136, CB 65.
I was surprised to see him get the deal he got because I didn't think he was very good. And
Yeah.
he was recovering from the ACL, I think, too, but he wasn't very good last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there you go, folks. Some winners and losers in the free agency fallout. Anyone we did not bring up tonight,
Yeah.
boys, that y'all wanted to mention?
I think I'm a little interested again about my boy Jeremy Chin. I'm kind of maybe back in on the Chin.
Back in on the chin.
Yeah. I know Derek Forrest, however you say his name. Was he injured last year? What'd he do?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, he
ACL?
played the first 4 games or so. Missed
Anyways,
the rest of the season.
He will be back. I don't think Derek Forrest is like elite. But I think that, man, if Dan Quinn there can use Jeremy Chin in kind of some fun ways.
Don't forget Marquise Bell.
Yeah.
Remember how they used Marquise Bell last
Yeah.
year? Big safety, playing
Yeah.
some linebacker. Now, I don't see that as much in Washington because you've got 3 capable guys there
Yeah.
in Jamin Davis, Bobby Wagner, and Frankie Louvu. But
Luvu could play a lot more edge.
could.
Yeah.
He could be sort of a Micah Parsons type,
Yeah.
right? Kind of a hybrid player.
Man, they're going to bring Chin down the box. That's what's going to happen. And then I think it has to be mentioned, not only because he's a Ram, but, Cam Curl, dear God, that could be crazy. He could be safety
Back
one.
in on Curl. Back in on Jen.
Could be safety one.
Don't do it, guys.
Don't
Safety
sim.
one.
Don't do it.
I'm not saying in best ball. Don't draft him high.
No, they're going to.
But I think
they're
it-
going to, Bob.
I think
Especially
the
now.
end of year could be really fun. Could be really fun for Cam Curl.
Addie, anybody you want to
You
bring
can
up?
sit it out. Sit it out, folks. Get Quentin Lake.
That's true. That's true.
You were upset that the Quentin Lake experience might be taking a hit.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
He'll be all right.
He'll be in the slot.
What about Cam Curl? I just wanted to see where he was going. He is safety 13 right now.
The Rams' defensive backs look pretty decent now. Tre'Davious White, who I don't know. I
I
think
think he might be washed.
yeah, I think it's kind of past him. But then they did bring back Darius Williams.
But they've had a history of bringing guys in that seemed washed at corner.
It's been okay.
Like
Marcus Peters.
right?
Yeah, sure.
John Johnson also had a nice little
Troy
kind of
Hill,
resurgence last year at safety.
Yeah, man.
My boy Isaiah Simmons has not signed anywhere yet. Kind of interested in that.
Oh,
Not
who's out there
surprised.
still?
Let's get it on the IDPshow.com
free
free
agency.
agency tracker.
The tracker. I'm
Cleaky Hudson.
yeah, that's one that I'm just kind of curious. Like, are we gonna see maybe some guys linger closer to like the start of the season?
Yeah.
Once the rookie draft shakes out, I think you'll see a flurry of veteran signings because teams didn't fill the needs the way they thought they were going to.
I took a lot of Cleaky Hudson early on. I had like 4 shares of him out of those 7.
I still think he could be good.
I think so. But he's definitely dropped now.
Of course, yeah, he doesn't have a job.
Doesn't have a job. Thought that maybe Washington would bring him back.
The team that had him is definitely not bringing him back at this point.
So now we got to hope that he lands in a situation where he doesn't have a lot of competition. That's a lot of these rooms are, getting pretty full.
Pretty full. Not a lot of space left. I guess like still Tennessee is a good spot to get an LB2.
Yeah, Jack Gibbons is there as LB2 right now. That's pretty good.
Where do you have
Murray's LB1.
any kind of opportunity?
Isaiah Simmons, like Bob mentioned, Julian Blackman still out there.
I'm surprised. I saw he visited the San Francisco 49ers, did not sign. I'm just waiting. I think the Colts are going to bring him back.
That's not good for Jair Brown if they're bringing in Blackman.
Yep.
Because Hufanga is locked. I mean, he's locked in there, right?
Yep. They gave him an extension, I believe. Didn't
Unless maybe they plan on, maybe they won't know the safeties to play slot. I don't know.
I think Blackman's coming back to the Colts.
Daryl Taylor, they brought him back. Seattle did. Justin Simmons is still out. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Surprised he's not been scooped up yet.
I know. I was hoping the Colts might bring him in. Just some veteran leadership on that defense would be nice.
He's going to run somebody, though.
He is.
Derek Barnett's still out there. Mike Dana's still out there.
Barnett went back to Houston, I believe.
Did he?
I believe so. I believe it was like a low-key. Let me double-check myself here.
Who else did you say right after that?
Mike Dana.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Hanging out.
Kyle Van Noy still lingering out there. I did see where.
Yes, he went back to the Texans.
Wow. I did see Derek Barnett was really, really good last year to close things out. I did see where Harbaugh mentioned that they're hoping to bring back Kyle Van, and this is before Clowney signed, but they're hoping to bring back Van Noy and Clowney. Obviously, they ain't Clowney back, but you got to expect Van Noy is likely going to come back now. I don't think they're going to want both those guys to get out. It's late in the game now. Like, there's not a lot of talent out there. Van Noy was damn good last year. Pressure rate was good.
They both were really good.
They were both really good last year.
Man, that OA experience has been rough.
30 tackles and 9 sacks last season for Kyle Van Noy.
Wow.
So he's probably the best on the market right now.
That's what I was going to say about
James Houston's out there.
About Clowney. Why did the Ravens not work a little harder to keep him in the building?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years, $24 million.
That's
like
not
a
that
team
much.
that's contending, you figure like
it's a window there with Lamar.
So I mean, you figure like they probably are going to be interested in one of these edge rushers in the draft.
D'Amico Ryans might have walked into the best coaching situation of anybody in a long time.
Well, they had to hit on the quarterback.
Well, yeah. I mean, so now he looks like a genius because they've drafted C.J. Stroud. But, oh, my gosh, man, the Texans could be dangerous in the AFC South for the next, while.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Trust me, I'm shaking in my boots about the Houston Texans as a Colts fan.
You got
that's the class of the division now.
They nailed the quarterback, and now they have maybe one of the best defensive minds in the game right now.
And you just brought in Daniil Hunter, and Azeez Al-Shaair.
And all of these little wide receivers that you drafted are kind of working out. Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
Yep. It's a good team.
Sorry, Josh.
That's all right. Yeah, it was a 1-year deal for Barnett going back to Houston. So
Bud Dupree still out there. Manuel Ogba still out there.
Where's Kaliki go?
I don't know. I mean, the dream would be for him to go to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because he's a Michigan alum.
Yeah.
So that would be very nice.
He played for Harbaugh?
I think so. How long's Harbaugh been there?
He's been there for a while.
So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he definitely played for Harbaugh.
That'd be awesome.
So, sign somewhere good, Kaliki. Give us, validate those shares for Addy.
Yeah, I think he was like a top 12 linebacker over the final 4 weeks of
if they don't
last season.
Bring someone in the draft, I could see them making a call to Kaliki Hudson.
Yeah.
I could see it. All right, well, thank you all for tuning in. This has been the Free Agency Fallout Winners and Losers. Next week, we'll be talking rookies once again, doing an IDP-only mock draft. So we're going to be dipping our toes into the IDP-only mock world. We told y'all we were going to be having a lot of mock drafts in the run-up to the draft. Here coming up soon, as far as rookie content goes, we'll be having Mike Wohlert and Scott Soltis on to do a mega preview across all the rookie positions. We'll be talking to Sigmund Bloom about the Bloom 100.
Have Scott here in the house.
In the shack. Scott is a Lexington native and will be coming down to spend some time with us here in BG in the shack and talking some DL and DB rookie prospects. So, and check out his work. He just published an article walking through his rookie ranking process, and his rankings have been added to the rookie ranking consensus. So check those out for paid supporters at theidpshow.com.
It's cool stuff. We got some really, really good stuff being put on the website right now.
Our free agent class was the best. We were the biggest free agency winners.
Oh, no doubt about it.
In the IDP game. So
crazy level up for us this season. I mean, I didn't know that we could leap any more than we have. Yeah. But
the fifth year leap, son. Those legs are getting stronger every year.
We are locked in.
Yeah.
Come lock in with us.
Come lock in. Let's get lock arms, lock step, and leap with us.
A lot of people are really seeing how valuable this resource is.
Ain't it true? So we'll see you all next week for an IDP-only rookie mock draft. But until then, y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.
It's the IDP show. Now you